Happy Saturday! I hope I'll upload this on Saturday. And welcome back to my channel! For those of you who are new to my channel, hopefully, and who don't know me yet, my name is Laura. I go by the username, and also the pen name of Love or Runaway, and I'll tell that story in another video. But I really hope that you like my videos and that you're very interested to know what's gonna happen next, what video is coming next. So today's video is again based on the votes of one of my polls that I had on my Insta stories a couple of weeks ago. As much as I remember, from what I remember. Anyway, so this is things to keep in mind when writing, and I think that when coming to this video you might think that I'm going to give you just some tips connected to grammar or connected to how the topic of your poetry or quote should be or anything like that, but let me surprise you and tell you that this video is not about that at all. It's about the little things, the simple things connected to writing, which seem to be obvious, but they usually are not that obvious, and they are very hard to do. So let me give you a couple of pieces of advice, and please don't take this as advice coming from a person who thinks that they're a professional writer or who thinks that they're so good at it that they are able to give pieces of advice. That's not, but I think that these pieces of advice will be of help to people who are just going into writing, and there are some simple things that should be remembered, and they should remind themselves of that every single day, because writing is a very complicated and also difficult field, I would say, and sometimes it's really hard to keep going, and I hope that this video helps you go back and continue writing no matter what. So the first thing that I want you to keep in mind is that you shouldn't give up. If this is what you truly love to do and you're interested to do, and you know that you love it and you can't live without it, you shouldn't give up no matter what. To be honest, based on my experience, it's really hard not to give up sometimes, because you get so overwhelmed with the books that are posted on the internet and with the writings and with the talented people that sometimes you feel like you are not as good as them, and it's hard to keep going, to keep writing. But and actually I've given up a couple of times on writing myself and those moments have been really, really hard for me. It seems like I've been going through a breakup, to be honest with you, and that's why I'm telling you not to give up on writing, because if that's what you really, really love to do, if you enjoy doing that, and if you feel like you can't live without it, which is my case, and there were a lot of times when I was posting chapters on Wattpad in the past, so I have to go back to that, but I just don't have time at the moment. So yeah, I was posting chapters of my book on Wattpad. Please check it out if you're interested. It's called Stealing the Bad Boy's Heart. Yay! There's also the continuation, but I stopped it at the moment. But I should go back to it for sure. Anyway, let's go back to the topic. So I was posting those chapters. I really love doing that. I still want to be a writer in the future. That's my long-term goal. But I was really worried because I thought that it wasn't good enough. When writing those chapters, I was like, yeah, I feel like it's interesting, but I don't feel like it's enough. It's not good enough to be called a book. It's not good enough to be called a good chapter, etc. So I gave up on writing many times, and it was very hard for me, both the giving up process and the situation and the kind of emotional state that I was in after giving up on writing. And so every time I was kind of going back to writing still. I was like, no, I can't live without writing. And I hope it doesn't feel it doesn't sound too like philosophical to you, but I still can't live without writing. Every day when I wake up, I know that I have to write something, at least a quote, a word, I don't know, a sentence, anything, but I just have to write something. So I was going back to it every time. So I think that it's the same with the people you love too. With anything that you really, really love, you can't give up on those things. You just don't. And even if you do, you keep coming back to them, and writing is one of the things that I keep coming back to. So I would advise you not to give up on writing, no matter how sad you feel sometimes that you can't continue writing and you think that you might not be as good enough or anything like that. Just get it out of your head and just write, and be sure that there still are going to be people who will appreciate your writing just because it is your writing, and just because you have that something in you and in your writings that no one else has. And I'm pretty sure it's like that. That's one. The second thing is, don't be sad or discouraged, or maybe, I don't know, just don't go being very depressed about criticism or hate speech or just negative comments that you're getting. And trust me, I have gotten many. And so there was this comment that I got on Wattpad, which was, so that person supposedly read all of the book, the whole book, and then that person was like, I don't remember exactly because I try not to focus on that, to remember those words, because they discourage me and they make me sad sometimes. So not to be sad, I decided not to remember that comment precisely. So from what I remember, it was like, it was either a waste of time or it was the worst book of my life. And all I did was commenting back and saying that thank you very much for your piece of advice and for your feedback. I'll work on myself, and thank you for that. Thank you for the comment. And I think that that person's opinion matters too. And as much as I would love to be loved by everybody, and for my writings to be loved and liked by everybody and read by everybody, it's just impossible. It's one of the simplest truths in life that you think that it's easy to understand, but it's not. Sometimes it's like, no, but why doesn't that person love my writing? Why? Like, what's wrong with it? Why can that person just love it and enjoy reading it? But we should understand it. As easy as it sounds, it's very hard to really like consciously understand that not everybody will like your writings, and that's okay. Just focus on the people, on all the people that really love your writing, that inspire you on a daily basis, and that leave comments on your writing saying that your writings inspire them, make their world and day better, and they really wait for your posts to come. And I'm sure there are people like that for you, at least one person. And if there's not, DM me, I'll be that person for you. The third one would be the inspiration part. So in the past, I was like always waiting for my muse to come, for my inspiration to come. I was waiting for something or somebody to inspire me. But in my opinion, that's wrong, because it's really hard to live like that. It means that you have to write taking huge pauses, like for example, because inspiration and that kind of a muse or anything doesn't come that easily and doesn't happen or come every day. So basically you have to wait for a long time. So it means that, for example, if you're posting today, you have to wait for a week or a month or maybe even a year for that muse and that huge inspiration to come to you and for you to be able to write. And so in the past, I really thought that that was one of the correct ways of doing so, because I always imagined the writers to be those people who are lying down, like, or sitting, thinking about things and just waiting for inspiration to come, and then boom, something happened and they just decided to write about something. Again, that's not wrong, and that's for you to decide. But if you're like me and you want to write daily, or even if you don't write for a couple of days, you're like, what's happening to me? Is something wrong with me? Where's that writer thing going? Am I losing my writing powers or something like that? So if you're like me, then you can use this method and try to get inspired by every single thing. And when saying every single thing, I really mean it. So I always try to get inspired by every single thing that happens in my life. Or I try to pay attention to little small things. Like, for example, I'm going out for a walk, I'm going down the streets, I'm paying attention to the street, I'm paying attention to the trees, to the flowers, to the plants, to the people, to their facial expression, to what is happening on the streets. And I think that sometimes it might, again, sound very obvious, and you're like, yeah, obviously I do that. But try to find some things in your daily life to write about. Things that haven't been voiced yet, or things that you really feel and you feel like you don't have to write about it, but you actually do, because there are so many people who feel just like you, and they think that they're the only ones who feel that way. But then when they see you're writing about those small, simple, like daily things, and they realize that they're not the only ones, and they feel understood and appreciated and supported. So that's I think the last advice for today. I'm gonna, if in case you're interested in getting more pieces of advice like this, I'll do this kind of videos more. Oh god, what did I just say? Just rewind. I'm gonna do more of these videos in case you're interested in this kind of things, like getting pieces of advice, which might sound cliche, but at the same time they're very relevant and relatable. So let me know if which piece of advice helped you, which one did you know about, which one was probably new for you. I'd be really, really interested to know. So please comment below. Please also follow my account on Instagram, which is @loveorrunaway. That would mean the world to me. Also, hit the notification bell to get the videos whenever I'm posting them. And please let me know if you like my channel, and subscribe to it if you're interested. Thank you. Until the next video. Mwah! Have a beautiful day or night, depending on where you're leaving. Bye bye.